So as we've been talking about attracting talent and training talent and retaining talent, many of you guys are aware we hired a company called Scalar, had them on retainer for a year to build an accelerator program for craftsmen. And one of the things I've been talking about is that we've cracked the code for training people. And so I want to share with you the code that's been cracked and the resources that we're using, three different resources that we're using that helps us crack the code and why. Prior to hiring Scalar and building the accelerator program, the way that we would train people is we would take somebody that has never done the job before and we would say, hey, so for instance, a craftsman, and we would say, hey, go with an experienced craftsman, right? Just go with them in the van and watch what they do. Well, the problem is they're going to clients' houses and they're watching what the craftsman's doing, like with live fire. And that's the way we trained people. And it's really not training, it's watching. And so you watch people long enough that you pick things up and you learn from it. And so that's the way that we've trained. But with hiring Scalar, what they've built is an educational module. So we've got, I don't know if there's 50 videos for the craftsman, for instance, and they can watch a video that explains one of the competencies like loading the glass in the van, for instance. And so they watch a module, a video, and then they simulate it. We built in our shop, we've got a simulation room where the guys can actually get at bats simulating an installation, for instance, or low-hanging fruit where they might simulate just taking glass from a bin and loading it on the van. So they watch the video, how to load glass on a van, then they simulate maybe a repetition of 20 times taking the glass from the rack and putting it on the van. And then the evaluation stage is where they have a master craftsman like sign off that the apprentice actually knows how to do this. So it's an educate, simulate, and then evaluate. I think the secret sauce to this is really the simulation, right? Getting at bats without being in live fire. The way that the trades do it present day is you get simulation at a job site. I mean, think about how crazy that is. Like if you want to simulate learning something, go to a job site and learn it. Like that's the way we did it. It's not the best way. If the clients know it, it can be certainly frustrating. It could be very disconcerting for a homeowner or a contractor to say, hey, how many jobs have you been on? And they're like, this is my first one, right? And so it can be very disconcerting. So I think the secret sauce for the accelerator program, the modules are great. The video modules are great. The simulation, I think, is the secret sauce. And then the evaluation where you have a master craftsman signing off on it is key as well. So when I talk about cracking the code, I'm talking about using these resources to help people that have never done the work before. Now, this is not just for craftsmen. We will be doing the same thing with project managers and each of the 7 departments of our company. But for the sake of this video, in this conversation, like simulation, like, man, if your company has the ability to build a simulator, think about an airplane simulator for a pilot. You don't want a pilot, right, having his first, right, practice learning how to fly with you as a passenger. And yet we do that in the trades. And so this creates a safe, controlled environment for a new person, a craftsperson, a person that wants to become a craftsperson to get at bats without being in live fire.